We're about to embark on a journey beyond the edges of your deepest fears. 10 horrifyingly true tales that will chill your bones and shatter your peaceful slumbers. Stories sourced from the darkest corners of reality, each one more disturbing and unsettling than the last. Let me introduce you to our first story. It takes place in the quiet of midnight as a woman in the heart of New York City realizes she's entirely alone. What ensues is a chilling tale of unexplained anomalies that slowly seep into her everyday life. A book that moves from table to bedside unnoticed, a sandwich disappearing mysteriously from the refrigerator, and odd whispers and rustles disturbing the silence of her once tranquil apartment. As days morph into weeks, these eerie incidents escalate, a strange presence making itself known through traces that it leaves behind. Her fear drives her to seek help from the authorities, but they find no evidence of intrusion, attributing her terrifying experiences to stress and an overactive imagination. But she's aware she can feel the lurking presence of an unseen stalker, turning her sanctuary into a prison. Her life devolves into a relentless nightmare, an eerie cat-and-mouse game where she is always the prey. But the question that truly haunts her, that leaves her shivering in terror, is the intention of this phantom intruder. Her worst nightmares, she would soon discover, were just about to become her reality. From the concrete jungle of New York City, let's transport ourselves to the serene wilderness of the Appalachian Trail, a place where nature's whispers are the only sounds that break the silence. Here, amidst the towering trees and rugged terrain, we find our next tale of terror. A seasoned hiker, well-versed with the twists and turns of the trail, embarks on what was supposed to be a routine trek. He is armed with years of experience, a sturdy backpack, and an adventurous spirit. His journey, however, takes an eerie turn when he mysteriously vanishes without a trace. Fellow hikers report strange sightings leading up to his disappearance, a shadowy figure lurking in the periphery, a chilling howl that doesn't quite match any known wildlife, and a sudden drop in temperature that leaves a lingering frost in the middle of summer. Despite a rigorous search involving local authorities and volunteer search parties, the hiker remains missing. The only evidence left behind, a single hiking boot, found miles off the marked trail, and his abandoned campsite eerily undisturbed. As days turn into weeks and weeks into months, the vanishing hiker becomes a chilling legend of the Appalachian Trail. Theories abound, ranging from the plausible to the paranormal. Some suggest he lost his way and succumbed to the elements, while others whisper about the shadowy figure, speculating about a spectral entity haunting the trail. The truth, however, remains obscured by the dense wilderness, swallowed by the silent trees. The story of the vanishing hiker serves as a chilling reminder that even in broad daylight, under the open sky, we are not always as alone as we might think. Leaving the eerie silence of the Appalachian Trail, we turn our attention to the tranquil, seemingly idyllic countryside. Nestled between rolling hills and sprawling fields stands an old farmhouse, a relic from a bygone era. Its weathered facade holds a dark history, one marred by tragedy and death. A lineage of farmers who once thrived here, now merely ghosts of the past, their untimely ends shrouded in mystery and despair. A new family, oblivious to the home's haunted history, moves in, hopeful for a peaceful life in the country. Their dreams of tranquility, however, are soon shattered by unexplained phenomena. Whispers echo through the halls in the dead of night, shadowy figures appear and disappear in the blink of an eye, and everyday objects move on their own, defying the laws of nature. The children report seeing a spectral figure of a woman in the attic, her ghostly eyes filled with sorrow. The parents, initially dismissive, are forced to confront the reality when they, too, experience these spine-chilling incidents. The once charming farmhouse transforms into a house of horrors, its sinister past seeping into the present. Overwhelmed by fear and desperate for sanity, the family makes the harrowing decision to leave. The farmhouse, once again abandoned, stands as a chilling monument to its haunted history. Yet, the questions persist. What torments this old farmhouse? Is it the restless spirits of the farmers who met their tragic ends? Or is it something far more sinister? The family may have escaped, but the haunted farmhouse continues to echo with the whispers of its dark past, a chilling testament to the unseen horrors that lurk within its walls. From the haunted farmhouse, we venture into the heart of the wilderness, an isolated forest known for its eerie reputation. A dense, almost impenetrable canopy of trees stretches as far as the eye can see. This is no ordinary forest. For decades, reports of strange lights and inexplicable sounds have plagued the area, yet a group of friends, thrill seekers by nature, decide to test their bravery by camping within its ominous grasp. As night falls, the forest's menacing character truly comes to life. The friends huddle around a dying campfire, their laughter echoing through the darkness. Suddenly the air grows cold, and an uneasy silence descends. A strange light flickers between the trees, casting an otherworldly glow on the forest floor. Puzzled, they follow the light, only to stumble upon an entity that defies explanation. A creature neither human nor animal, its glowing eyes reflecting their fear. It appears to be stalking them, disappearing and reappearing at will, its eerie presence sending waves of terror through their hearts. In a desperate bid to escape, they abandon their camp, fleeing through the dense undergrowth under the cloak of darkness. Panting and terrified, they finally reach the safety of their car, leaving the forest and its menacing inhabitant behind. But the forest's reputation only grows more fearsome. The friends, once skeptics, are now firm believers in the inexplicable. Their encounter adds another chilling chapter to the forest's lore, a place where the line between the natural and supernatural blurs. The forest remains, a silent, ominous reminder of the eerie encounter, its secrets guarded by the eerie glow of the unknown. We move away from the terror of the forest and step into the unsettling world of the inanimate turned animate. Meet Lily, a seemingly innocent doll with porcelain skin and bright blue eyes. Passed down through generations, Lily has been a cherished family heirloom, her origins lost in the mists of time. But there is more to Lily than meets the eye. She's not just a pretty plaything, but a vessel carrying a dark and terrifying history. Over the years, the family starts noticing odd occurrences. Lily, initially placed on a rocking chair, is found sitting on the bed. Her facial expression changes from a sweet smile to a grimace, and then back again. Whispers echo in the night, a soft lullaby that sends chills down the spine. The family, initially dismissing these incidents as pranks or overactive imaginations, soon realize the horrifying truth. Lily is alive. In a desperate attempt to contain the horror, they lock Lily away in the attic. The whispering stops, the house regains its tranquility. But the legend of Lily, the possessed doll, continues. Her story becomes a warning, a chilling tale whispered around campfires and sleepovers. A tale of a doll that walked, a doll that talked, a doll that stared with bright blue eyes into the very soul of its beholders. The attic remains locked, a silent guardian of the horror within. But every now and then, when the house is quiet, you can still hear the soft echo of a lullaby, a haunting reminder of the terror that was, and perhaps still is, Lily. We've heard about the horrors that can be locked away in attics and those that lurk next door, but what happens when the terror makes itself at home right under your roof? Welcome to the Smiths, a typical suburban family living in idyllic tranquility. However, their peaceful existence takes a sinister turn when they begin to notice peculiar incidents. The sound of soft footsteps in the dead of night, a faint rustling in the attic, and the inexplicable movement of household items. Everyday objects find themselves in places where they shouldn't be. A sense of dread begins to infiltrate their home as they realize they're not alone. The family cat hisses at unseen entities, and the air grows cold in certain parts of the house. It's as if they're being watched, as if there's an uninvited guest lurking in the shadows. The family, driven by fear and desperation, contacts the authorities. A thorough search of the house reveals a chilling discovery: signs of habitation in the basement, half-eaten food, a makeshift bed, and personal belongings that don't belong to any family member. The realization hits hard. They were sharing their home with someone, or something, that remained unseen. Despite exhaustive searches and heightened security, the intruder is never found. The Smiths are left with an eerie mystery, their home forever tainted by the presence of the unseen guest. The incidents cease, but the fear remains, a constant reminder that sometimes our safe havens might not be as safe as we believe. As we step into our homes, shutting the world outside, are we truly alone, or is there an uninvited guest silently sharing our space? From uninvited guests in our homes to sinister watchers in our neighborhoods, we now venture onto a desolate stretch of highway where the dangers are not just from this world. Welcome to Route 66, a lonely stretch of road infamous for its chilling tales of ghostly encounters and inexplicable accidents. Our tale tonight revolves around a weary truck driver named Ben, who, like many others, had heard the ghostly whispers surrounding this highway but dismissed them as mere folklore. As he navigates the desolate stretch late one night, the radio his only company, he suddenly spots a pair of glaring headlights in his rearview mirror. The vehicle, a phantom-like car, appears out of nowhere, its form eerily indistinct in the darkness. It begins to tailgate Ben, the blinding lights causing him to squint, his heart pounding in fear and confusion. The phantom car begins a terrifying game of cat and mouse, speeding up, slowing down, and swerving dangerously close to Ben's truck. Just as suddenly as it appeared, the spectral vehicle vanishes, leaving only a chilling echo of its presence and an unnerved driver in its wake. Ben, shaken but unharmed, continues his journey, the eerie encounter forever etched in his memory. His story adds to the chilling lore of Route 66, a cautionary tale for those who dare to traverse its haunted path. So, the next time you find yourself driving down a lonely highway, remember the tale of the phantom driver. Who knows what might be lurking in the rearview mirror. In the chilling aftermath of our phantom encounter on Route 66, we find ourselves drawn to a place of healing turned hellish, a monument to medical miracles, now a mausoleum of malevolent mysteries. Welcome to the abandoned St. Benedict's Hospital, a place where the line between science and the supernatural was all too often blurred. Built in the late 1800s, St. Benedict's was a beacon of hope for the sick and suffering. However, its noble mission was marred by rumors of cruel experimental treatments and unexplained deaths. As we delve into its darkened corridors, we follow a group of courageous urban explorers who dared to uncover its secrets. Armed with flashlights and cameras, they step into the eerie silence, their every footfall echoing off the peeling, mold-stained walls. The air grows colder as they delve deeper, an unnatural chill that seeps into their bones. In the abandoned operating theater, they hear whispered voices, the spectral remnants of doctors and nurses discussing procedures long since banned. As they navigate the labyrinthine wards, they encounter apparitions, spectral patients trapped in an endless cycle of suffering. The explorers, gripped by a fear that transcends the natural, flee the hospital, vowing never to return. Yet, St. Benedict's Hospital stands as a chilling testament to the horrors of the past, its dark secrets forever etched into its decaying walls. As we leave this place of torment, we carry with us a stark reminder. Not all horrors are confined to the realm of fiction. Some, like St. Benedict's, are a chilling reality. As we journey from the Hospital of Horrors, we find ourselves in an eerily quiet suburban neighborhood, a stark contrast from the chilling chaos we left behind. It's an idyllic setting, where children play on manicured lawns and neighbors exchange pleasantries over white picket fences. But beneath this tranquil facade, a sinister presence lurks. The residents whisper of a faceless figure, an unknown entity that seems to materialize from the shadows. It begins with fleeting glimpses at twilight. The figure, a mere silhouette, is seen lurking at the periphery of the neighborhood, its form barely distinguishable against the fading light. The sightings intensify, the figure inching closer to the homes with each passing night. Its faceless visage becomes a haunting image in the minds of the residents, an embodiment of an unknown fear. The figure breaches the sanctity of their homes, its shadowy form seen in bedrooms, hallways, even reflected in mirrors. Panic grips the neighborhood. Sleepless nights are spent in fear, doors locked and curtains drawn. The faceless figure becomes a silent intruder, a constant threat lurking in the shadows, and then, as mysteriously as it appeared, it vanishes. The sightings cease, the figure no longer a menacing presence in their homes. A semblance of peace returns to the neighborhood, but the fear it instilled remains. The once friendly community is now shrouded in an unsettling silence, the memory of the faceless figure a chilling reminder of the terror that once gripped their tranquil neighborhood. As we leave this scene of spectral invasion, we carry with us a stark reminder. Sometimes the most terrifying horrors are those that invade our safe spaces, turning familiar surroundings into landscapes of fear. As we leave the echoes of the faceless figure behind and before we meet the sinister neighbor, we find ourselves in a secluded spot on the map, a small village nestled in the heart of a dense forest miles away from the nearest town. This village, once brimming with life, now stands silent and deserted. The mystery of this village begins on a fateful morning when the sun rose to an eerie quiet. The village had vanished. Not the buildings, not the homes, but the people. Every single resident had disappeared without a trace, as if swallowed by the night. The village seems frozen in time, meals left uneaten on tables, doors left ajar, clothes scattered in a hurry, and vehicles left behind. It's as if the villagers vanished in the middle of their daily routines. The local authorities were baffled, investigations were launched, search parties dispatched, but no trace of the villagers was ever found. No signs of struggle, no evidence of a mass exodus, no bodies, no clues, just an unsettling silence. Even the surrounding forest seemed to hold its breath, its usually bustling wildlife strangely subdued. The village now stands as a ghost town, its empty houses a chilling testament to its former life. The laughter and chatter of its residents replaced with an eerie quiet that chills the bone. The mystery of the disappearing village remains unsolved, its story a chilling riddle that echoes through time. As we leave this ghost village, we carry with us an eerie reminder of the mystery and fear that can lurk in even the most secluded and peaceful places. In the aftermath of the disappearing village and before the disturbing revelation of the sinister neighbor, we find ourselves checking into a notorious hotel. Room 409, infamous for its paranormal activity, is our destination. This room, shrouded in mystery and fear, has been the setting of countless terrifying tales. Guests report chilling encounters, strange noises, and physical disturbances that defy all rational explanation. Tonight, we follow the journey of one brave soul who dares to spend the night. As the guest settles in, the room seems normal, even welcoming. But as darkness descends, the eerie atmosphere amplifies. The air grows cold and an unsettling silence envelops the room. The first sign of the paranormal activity comes in the form of a soft whisper, barely audible but unmistakably human. The guest, startled, dismisses it as a trick of the mind. But soon, the whisper evolves into a low, mournful wailing echoing through the room. The guest, now truly frightened, clings to their rationality. But then the lights flicker and the room plunges into darkness. In the dim glow of the emergency light, the guest sees it. A ghostly apparition, a spectral figure draped in white standing at the foot of the bed. The ghost doesn't speak, but its presence is overwhelming. The guest, paralyzed with fear, watches as the figure slowly vanishes, leaving behind a chilling cold. The rest of the night is punctuated by strange noises, the sound of footsteps, soft sobs, and the rustling of unseen entities. The room's temperature fluctuates wildly, and objects move of their own accord, giving the guest a terrifying show of the room's haunted nature. As dawn breaks, the guest, pale and shaken, rushes out of room 409, convinced of its haunted status. The room, once again silent and seemingly normal, awaits its next guest, ready to share its ghostly tales. Our journey continues, leaving behind the haunted hotel room and its spectral resident, carrying with us a chilling reminder of the unseen world that exists parallel to ours. Sometimes the danger lives right next door, silently observing. Imagine a quiet, unassuming neighborhood where everyone knows everyone. There's a particular neighbor, a man who always greets with a friendly smile, yet something about him seems slightly off. His eyes perhaps hold an unsettling glint, or his laughter, a tad too loud, echoes a fraction too long. It's easy to dismiss these subtle oddities, attributing them to eccentricity rather than malice. But as time passes, the man's peculiarities begin to escalate. Evenings are punctuated by strange sounds emanating from his house, a chilling mix of metallic clangs and muffled voices. His once casual conversations turn increasingly intrusive, probing into personal lives with an unnerving curiosity. Yet his friendly facade remains intact, his unsettling behavior cleverly masked beneath a veneer of neighborly concern. Then, one fateful night, the sinister truth begins to unfold. A resident spots him lurking in the shadows, peering into homes with an intense gaze. His actions, no longer confined to the odd and eccentric, cross into the realm of the truly terrifying. A wave of fear sweeps through the neighborhood, a chilling realization that their friendly neighbor may not be so friendly after all. Reports to the police lead to a shocking discovery. The man's home, once thought to be a typical suburban dwelling, is revealed to be a twisted labyrinth of surveillance equipment. The friendly neighbor was watching, always watching, his gaze penetrating the sanctity of their homes, transforming a safe haven into a stage for his sinister spectacle. The man is arrested, his reign of terror ending as abruptly as it began, but the damage is done. A sense of unease lingers, an unsettling reminder of the horror that once lived next door. The neighborhood is forever changed, its facade of tranquility shattered by the echoes of a terrifying past. A chilling reminder that danger can lurk in the most unsuspecting of places. In the heart of Boston, a hotel room held a chilling secret. A tale is woven around room 313 in a famous Boston hotel. a tale of inexplicable incidents and ghostly encounters that have left guests trembling in fear. This is not your typical ghost story, for it's not rooted in ancient folklore or birthed from a tragic event. Rather, it's a modern-day haunting that seemingly sprang from nothingness. The first hint of the uncanny came from guests who complained of strange noises in the dead of night, whispers that seemed to originate from nowhere, soft footsteps echoing in the empty corridors, and an eerie, insistent tapping, as if someone were desperately trying to get in. But it didn't end with just noises. Soon, guests began reporting sightings of apparitions. Some saw a man in an old-fashioned suit standing by the window, gazing out with a melancholic look. Others claimed to have seen a little girl, dressed in white, giggling before disappearing into thin air. The most unsettling account was of a spectral figure that would appear at the foot of the bed, its face obscured in shadow, before vanishing without a trace. Despite the mounting fear and escalating reports, investigations turned up nothing. Paranormal experts were called in, but their findings were inconclusive. The hotel management even attempted to renovate the room, hoping to dispel the eerie atmosphere, but the hauntings persisted, unaffected by the changes. Over the years, room 313 has become infamous, a chilling draw for thrill-seekers and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Some guests leave in the middle of the night, too terrified to stay. Others remain, drawn by the thrill of the unknown, the allure of the unexplained. Yet, despite the countless investigations and the multitude of theories, no concrete explanation has ever been found for the strange occurrences in room 313. It remains an enigma, a haunting puzzle that refuses to reveal its secrets. The haunting mystery of room 313 remains unsolved to this day. In 1998, a woman vanished into thin air, leaving behind a trail of disturbing clues. Our story begins with Jane Doe, an enigmatic figure who lived her life shrouded in anonymity. Her sudden disappearance shook her small community, and the mystery surrounding her case still baffles investigators to this day. Jane was known as a quiet, solitary woman. She kept to herself, rarely interacting with her neighbors. No one really knew her, and perhaps that's why her disappearance went unnoticed for weeks. It was only when her mail started to pile up that her absence was felt and questions began to arise. The police were notified and a preliminary search of her home was conducted. They found no signs of a struggle, no signs of forced entry. Jane's belongings were in place, her life seemed frozen in time. The only thing missing was Jane herself. The investigation took a bizarre turn when a peculiar piece of evidence was unearthed. Jane's diary, a worn-out notebook filled with cryptic entries, was discovered. The entries were a mix of mundane daily events and unsettling ramblings, hinting at a troubled mind. The last entry, dated the day before her disappearance, read, "They are coming for me. I can't hide anymore." Despite the chilling content of the diary, it provided no concrete leads. The "they" Jane referred to remained a mystery. Investigators followed several trails, questioned multiple suspects, but all their efforts led to dead ends. Jane Doe's name was added to the long list of missing persons, her face becoming another ghostly image on the wall of the unsolved. As time passed, Jane Doe's case grew colder. Theories flourished, from alien abduction to a secret life in witness protection, but none could be substantiated. The clues Jane left behind were as enigmatic as she was, leading investigators into a labyrinth of confusion and dead ends. Jane Doe's unsettling disappearance remains one of the most haunting unsolved mysteries. A woman vanished without a trace, leaving behind an eerie echo of her existence and a question that remains unanswered. What happened to Jane Doe? As we delve into the depths of these horrifying tales, we're left with a terrifying truth. Each of these stories, whether it's the unseen stalker whose presence was felt but never seen, the sinister neighbor whose malevolence was concealed beneath a facade of normalcy, the haunting of room 313 that defied explanation, or the chilling disappearance of Jane Doe, they all share a common thread. They are reminders of the unpredictable, unexplainable horror that can strike at any moment in any place. The unseen stalker, lurking in the shadows, instilled a fear so deep that it made us question every rustle of leaves, every creak in the house, every shadow in the corner of our eyes. The sinister neighbor, hiding in plain sight, shattered our trust in the familiar, turning everyday encounters into potential threats. The haunting of room 313 pushed the boundaries of our understanding, making us there are forces at work that are beyond our comprehension, forces that can chill the blood and make the bravest soul shudder. The disappearance of Jane Doe, so sudden and without a trace, was a stark reminder of the fragility of life. One moment, we're here, living our lives; the next, we could be gone, leaving behind nothing but unanswered questions and a void that can never be filled. Each story, each horrifying event serves as a chilling reminder that these events could happen to anyone, anywhere. They are not confined to the realm of fiction or the distant past. They are happening here and now in our world to people like us. In the end, the most horrifying stories are those that are true, reminding us that terror can lurk anywhere, waiting to strike when we least expect it. As we reel from these spine-chilling tales, we are left standing in the unsettling aftermath. The unseen stalker may never be seen, but its presence remains like a chilling wind that rustles the leaves and sends shivers down our spines. The sinister neighbor may have moved away, but his malevolent smile lingers in our minds, turning every friendly encounter into a potential threat. The haunting of room 313 may have ended, but the echoes of its chilling whispers still linger, making us question the very fabric of our reality. The disappearance of Jane Doe remains unresolved, leaving behind a void that can never be filled, a mystery that may never be solved. As we stand in the aftermath of these terrifying tales, we realize that they are not just tales, they are warnings, they are reminders. They remind us to stay vigilant, to question everything, to never let our guard down. For the unseen stalker, the sinister neighbor, the haunted room, and the disappeared Jane Doe, they are not confined to the realm of fiction. They are real, they are here, and they could happen to any one of us. And as we come to the end of this episode, we urge you to stay safe, stay vigilant, and remember, the most terrifying stories are often the ones that are true. Subscribe to Ghostly Legends for more terrifying true stories. And remember, the world is full of mysteries, and sometimes the most horrifying mysteries are the ones that are right under our noses.